Currently, the public are going to Google to try and find their answers and use documents. The biggest problem with this is they don't know whether the answer is actually correct, so they could be acting blindly on bad advice. Or they're using documents that may not be relevant for what they're doing, and it could actually hinder them more than help. Or they're blindly using templates that they're getting from Rocket Lawyer, LegalZoom, or US forms, and then they don't understand the clauses in those agreements, so they're signing their rights away half the time. We believe that knowledge is power, so what our system does is provides a free learning centre that's geotagged, so users only get the relevant information for where they are, and it's across business, property, wills and estates, and family law, so it covers everyday basics. Then the document creates the correct document, the system creates the correct document by putting in all the relevant clauses for that user's situation. It then goes through and gives a one-line advice, which we call the human guide. So it's a one-line advice on every clause that's in that document, so you actually know how it practically works for your situation, where most people don't understand what their legal documents mean in the first place. We then go one step further, and the user can then book a 20-minute advice session with either a lawyer, an accountant, a financial planner, or a business consultant online to review that document. So given they've done 90% of the work, they only have to pay 10% of the cost, because the lawyer has already the whole document set out that's relevant for their situation, and they just have to give actual legal advice on that, or they can get accounting advice on their document as well. So to give you an example, for the same price that you'd spend, say, getting a shareholders agreement that might cost $2,000 with someone else, you could come to us and you could set up your company, do your shareholders agreement, get all of your documents in line, and the whole lot will cost you just a couple of $100s. And yet you've got the same legal liability insurance. Now, the video call that you have with the advisors is it's recorded, and then a link to that is put in your dashboard, so you can go back and look at your advice time and time again. If you're given advice that doesn't work for you as well, you also hold the advisor accountable because their liability insurance attaches to it. Now, the global legal services market, which services only 15% of the population, was worth over $580 billion US dollars. So that only services 15% of the world. We make money through the advisor fees and user fees, or they can have one-off documents and one-off guides. We also make money through the video call fees, so the advisor keeps 75% of the funds that are made from the video call, and we keep the other 25%. Now, both the recorded video sessions and the written advice are encrypted, so it's safer than when a lawyer is sending you information, because that can actually be intercepted. Our target market are startups, people who are entering into relationships or getting out of relationships, people buying or selling properties, businesses, franchises, managing investments, and then we have wills and estates and people needing financial planning advice. There are several players in the market. But all of them, most of them don't incorporate companies. A lot of them also don't actually give advice in the documents, and if they do, it's only relevant to their templates, not general advice. And none of them give the human guide, so people actually don't understand what's actually in their documentation. So between the AI chatbot, the human guides, the learning center, and the open advice, our platform essentially gives you everything that you have from a practice, but more, and it's a safer way of communicating with advisors. We're looking for capital in the sum of $1 million, 15% of the company, and by the financials, we know that we can return the investment within 2 years. We're currently in Australia, expanding into New Zealand and into the UK within the next 4 to 8 months. We've got the right team in place to manage, because we've already won 3 awards for the concepts of the system, and each person on our, and we actually don't launch for another month, but each person on our panel are already entrepreneurs in their own right, and they all aim towards a lean, efficient system that's easily to replicate around the world. Thanks for your time.